back to the earlier question when you were saying like, how was your creative process during the pandemic? I pretty much got to the point now where I just record. I just record up to a certain point and then I just see what I have. And when I was in the studio, I'm just making records and I'm recording. I get to a certain point, I'm like, cool. Now I'm looking at what I have and then I'm able to separate and put records together and see what goes with what. Usually, for the most part, how my process goes is I'll record the songs, upload them, let Rashid hears them. He tells me his feedback, what he thinks, and then, I go from there. Now, I'll end up picking some of my records that I want to go on certain projects, and then he'll just advise me to say, okay, no, you can keep this one off, or you need to put that one on, or, so on and so forth. So when I got to this project, put it together, I had about 8 to 10 records that I was, looking at to see, to put together. And then at this point, Rashid was doing a lot of the mixing and mastering, and he did the track listing and arrangement with the help of Chuck from GSC. Him and Hadee was kind of going back and forth with the track listing. So we put the track listing together with the records, and he sending me, he sending me the records. He like, oh man, you good to go. You fire. You good to go with this right here. This how it needs to go out. These are the records. This is the order. You good. So I'm hearing it back. And by the time we get to the second draft, I'm like, man, I'm good. But as far as conceptually, they just come together. I find myself writing at a certain theme, and then it's just by default, the records have come together as far as like conceptually, what I do is I just think of a concept and I think of what music goes with the concept and I write, record the song, go to the next one. Think of a concept, think what music fits with it, write it, go to the next one. And these songs just really just came together in that fashion. And then especially with producing now too, it makes it more convenient because I could cut down the process of finishing a record and getting a record done, So that's how this project pretty much came together. And then I looked at it, I'm like, man, it has this inner city theme. It has this theme about, dealing with the different, the wealth gap in the city, dealing with gentrification, dealing with, the impoverished areas of Chicago. It had that theme. So when I started thinking about a title, I usually like to think of titles in words outside of the English language. So when I came across Innenstadt, it translates in the English language from German to inner city. And if you look at the album cover and where I took the photo at, it was that heavy gentrified area where the Cabrini Green row houses are at. And, that area was crazy because, they had that low income, high income mixed community there from the 60s. And then eventually it phased out. And eventually they broke down Cabrini Green. Eventually it put them in row houses and eventually shipped them out to the suburbs. So with that theme in mind, as far as the records are concerned, I felt like that artwork and that picture fit perfectly with that. So once I did the records, then I started thinking about the branding and the packaging and putting it together so the message can translate.
I was there when Neak first started making beats, so it's been a process. Like once he first decided to, buy his first MPC and, what I'm saying? Like I was there. So like when Neak make beats, it's like I'm vicariously living through him. You know what I'm saying? It's like when he make a beat, and then I'm gonna mix it. So I'm gonna put my flavor on the drums and the samples anyway. So it's like you got a think tank. You got a mastermind. You got, what I'm saying? You got multiple brains working together to craft these songs. So, but that's what I appreciate about, all our music, the way we're working now is Gold Standard Collective. I appreciate that, us being able to just build. And, this year it was like, we both worked a little bit different because I want to say throughout his and my recording processes, we were emailing songs back and forth as we were recording them. Like, yo, check this out. Yo, check this out. Like I hadn't been able to do nothing like that since I was, back in college or something. I don't even know. Like it's been a while, man. But it was good. It was fun to work like that because even though me and Neak come from totally different perspectives, like the way we put our songs together, but it's similar. But it's like it's different. You know, Neak is definitely way more responsible than I am. Let's just say that I'm the irresponsible one. He the responsible one. You know, all I talk about is drinking beer, smoking, and doing crazy stuff, and rims. You know what I'm saying? And box Chevys. Neak is gonna, you know what I'm saying? He's gonna break down. Like when you hear Innenstadt, like you really make a trip into the inner city, like mentally, you know what I'm saying? You make a mental trip into the inner city and you kind of feel the pain from the man's perspective, from the woman's perspective, from the child's perspective. You from his individual perspective, you know? So it was just fun seeing how, like, cause you know, these songs, they just fit together as a project. Those songs were the particular songs that fit together as the project. So the final outcome, it was just like, it's like the new Inner City Blues, you know, rap version, you know, like, man, like that's what Neak delivered. That's what Neak delivered.